It began on a quiet autumn afternoon, when Ayaan wandered into the old bookstore at the corner of Willow Street, one he had visited countless times, yet today it felt different. The smell of aged paper, the soft music, the warm lighting, everything felt strangely familiar, like echoes from a dream he could not place. As he browsed through the shelves, his eyes caught sight of a girl sitting near the window, lost in a book. She had soft brown hair that glowed under the sunlight and a calm, gentle expression that instantly drew him in. When she looked up, their eyes met, and Ayaan felt something inside him shift, an unexplainable mix of comfort, nostalgia, and a sudden ache he couldn't understand. She smiled, a small, warm smile that felt like it belonged to him somehow. "You're late," she said softly, as if they had known each other for years. Confused yet strangely at ease, Ayaan sat beside her, feeling an invisible thread pulling him closer. She knew his name before he introduced himself. She finished his sentences, laughed at things he himself didn't remember saying, and seemed to know him in a way no stranger ever could. Every moment with her felt like déjà vu, like he had lived this exact scene before. And though he had no memory of her, his heart reacted differently. It recognized her. As the sun set, she gently closed her book and whispered, "I've been waiting for you to remember." Before he could ask what she meant, she slipped a small, folded note into his hand and walked out of the store, leaving him sitting there with a storm of emotions and a note that simply read, "You once promised you'd find me again." Ayaan couldn't sleep that night. He kept unfolding and refolding the note she had given him, staring at the familiar handwriting that he couldn't place yet somehow felt connected to. "You once promised you'd find me again." The words echoed in his mind like a forgotten melody. Driven by a strange pull, he returned to the bookstore the next morning, hoping she'd be there. She wasn't. But the owner, an elderly man with kind eyes, noticed Ayaan's restlessness. "Looking for someone?" he asked knowingly. When Ayaan described the girl, the owner's smile faded. "She hasn't been here in a long time, not since your accident." Ayaan froze. "My accident?" The man nodded. 2 years ago. You came here often, with her. Always laughing, always talking about your future. Then one day you disappeared. When I heard about the accident, I didn't see her again." Ayaan felt a hollow ache in his chest, memories stirring but not yet forming. The man handed him an old photograph from behind the counter. It was him, and her, sitting by the same window, smiling at each other like they belonged together. Ayaan's hands trembled as emotions flooded him, love, sadness, longing. But the faces felt like a story he once knew but lost the ending to. Determined to remember, he retraced the places from the photograph: the cafe where they shared their first dessert, the park bench where she used to sketch, and the riverside where they once promised something important, but the memory still wouldn't come. Yet everywhere he went, people recognized them together. "She adored you," a florist said. "You were inseparable," a street vendor recalled. And every word made Ayaan's heart feel heavier. As he walked home in the golden evening light, he suddenly saw her standing by the riverside, the scarf around her neck fluttering in the wind. She turned slowly, her eyes filled with hope and pain. "Do you remember me now?" she whispered. Ayaan stepped closer, his breath trembling. I feel you. I just don't know how." She smiled sadly. "Then let me help you remember what love never forgot." Ayaan followed her along the quiet riverside path, the gentle sound of flowing water blending with the thundering beat of his heart. She stopped at a small wooden bench and touched its edge softly, as if it held pieces of a memory too fragile to speak aloud. "This," she whispered, "is where everything changed." Ayaan sat beside her, the air thick with emotion. She took a deep breath, her voice trembling. "That night you told me you loved me. You promised that no matter what happened, you'd find me again. We were planning our future, dreaming like nothing could ever break us." Her eyes glistened as she continued. "But on your way home, the accident happened. You forgot everything, our story, our dreams, even my name. And when I visited you at the hospital, you looked at me like I was a stranger. I couldn't bear the thought of forcing you to remember, so I left." But I never stopped loving you. Ayaan felt a sharp ache deep inside, as if the truth was unlocking something long buried. His breath hitched as scattered flashes flickered in his mind, her laughter echoing across the river, her hand intertwined with his, promises whispered under starlit skies. And then, like a dam breaking, the memory came rushing back, her crying as he held her close on this exact bench, his own voice trembling as he promised, "Even if I lose everything, I'll find you again." Overwhelmed, he reached for her hand, tears forming in his eyes. I remember you," he whispered. She gasped softly as he pulled her into his arms, as if the world had finally aligned again. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink, wrapping them in a warm embrace. "I looked for you in dreams I couldn't understand," he murmured, "but my heart never stopped searching." She leaned into him, her voice barely above a whisper. "And I waited, because some loves survive even time, even memory." Ayaan cupped her face gently, their foreheads touching. "This time," he said softly, "I won't lose you." As the river glistened beneath the sunset, the past and present finally merged, two souls finding their way back to each other, proving that true love, no matter how lost, always finds a way home.